Hi, welcome to Yoga by Janelle. Today's class will be a nice, slow flexibility class. We are going to stretch each and every muscle that you have in your body today. So for today's class, you're going to need a mat, and it might be a good idea to have a block. If you need, you can use a yoga strap or you can use a towel rolled up. And we're going to go ahead for today's class and get started in child's pose. So I invite you to join me on the mat in child's pose. Start by bringing your toes together. You're going to bring your knees towards the outside of your mat. We're going to sink down towards your bottom. Walk those arms out forward and drop that head down to the mat. And we're going to inhale and exhaling it out. Inhale it in. And out. Inhale it in. And out. Allow your thoughts to leave. Stand on your breath. Inhale in. One more breath. We're going to lift up slightly. You're going to walk those arms to your left and hold. And breathe. Inhaling in and exhaling it out. Breathing into your right lung. Letting that lung up and letting it out. Relax your head. Keep breathing. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale in. Inhale. Two more breaths. And exhale it out. Walk those hands to the center. And we're going to walk them over to your right. And breathe into that left side of your body. Breathe into that lung. Filling it with air. And exhaling it out. Inhale. And exhale. Relax the head. Listen to your body. If something is too strenuous, please back away and find your comfort zone. Everyone is at a different level. Few more breaths. Inhale it in. Exhale it out. One more inhale. And exhale it out. And get it back to center. I'm going to take your right arm and we're going to thread it through that opening underneath through your left arm. Keep that left arm stretched out. Turning your head towards your left and dropping it to the ground. And breathe.
And exhale it out. Unwind yourself from here, stretching that right arm forward, sending that left arm through the opening, and dropping that head. All right, bring that right arm back up to the top of your mat. We're going to switch sides. Sending that left arm through, dropping your head facing the right, and inhaling it in, and exhale, inhaling it in, inhale again. Two more breaths. And we're going to come back up. Straighten that arm up to the front. We're going to push ourselves up into a tabletop position. In tabletop position, you want to have your shoulders stacked above your wrist, your hips above your knees in alignment. Then you should be spread apart. We're going to inhale, dropping those abdominal muscles down, lifting your head forward. Exhale, rounding that back out. Inhale, lift that head. Exhale, rounding that back. Inhale. Exhaling it out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale it in one more time. And exhaling it out, round that back. Then come up onto your top kneel. In this position, we're going to round that arm, right arm, all the way back to your heel. Rounding the left arm back to your other heel. Pushing the chest forward, bring the head slightly back. Engage those abs into camel and begin to breathe. And exhale it out. Inhale. Exhaling it out. Forward, unwrapping. Coming back down into puppy pose. You're going to keep your bottom stitching up. Drawing those arms down to the ground and extending those arms. Resting that head on the mat. Inhale. Try to make sure you have those knees in alignment with your hips. You can reposition at any time. If you need a towel to go under your hips and under your knees, you can always place a towel under your knees, between your knees and your back. Two more breaths. Lift that head up. Bring those arms back. Tuck your toes. We're going to push up into downward facing dog. You want to float those heels towards the floor. Some may get their feet down, some may not. It's okay. You're going to be pushing through your hands, pushing your chest in towards your thighs. You want the eye of your elbows to be slightly turned towards the front of the room. Fingers are spread apart. Relaxing your head down, looking at your feet, and breathe. Keep those abdominal muscles drawn in. All right, gonna look up. You can either step your feet forward, or you can lift one leg up and draw it through. Stepping up to stand. I'm gonna inhale, 1.5 lift. Exhaling it forward. Inhale, arms all the way up. And exhaling into your heart center. We're gonna step back with your left foot. Rotate it to front of your room, and we're going to stand in the center of your mat, wherever that may be. Bring your hands together behind your back. Draw those shoulders back, and you're just going to go into a little bit of a back bend. Your gaze should be upward towards the ceiling, and we're going to inhale it in and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Continue your breath. Two more breaths. And release it. Walk those feet out a couple of inches. And we're going to inhale those arms up. Exhale, forward fold. You can bring your block with you if you need your block to support you. And we're going to breathe. And exhale it out. Widen your stance if you want. Let's move your block out the way for a moment. We're going to rotate those feet to your right. And you're going to walk your body towards that foot. You can stay here. You can grab your block for support. To get a much deeper stretch in that right leg, you're going to try your best to reach your hands back to the shin on the left, to the back of the left leg. And breathe. You can always put a bend in that front knee if needed. Breath. And release those hands. Slowly walk it over to the other side. And reaching back. And release those arms. We're going to rotate that right hand towards the right. And we're going to lift that left hand either up to your waist. If you have neck issues, you're going to keep your gaze down. Now rotate and open that arm up. And releasing that hand down. Go to the other side, same thing. And release that hand down. Bend those knees. We're going to come up into stand.
You're going to open those feet out towards the edges of your mat or on a diagonal curve. We're going to go into our goddess pose, which is just basically a squat, but you're going to keep those knees tracking towards your second and third toe. So you're going to just sink down as if you have a wall behind your back, and you're going to come back up. In goddess, we're going to inhale those arms up. As you lower down, drop those arms down to your side. And going back up. And exhaling them down. Inhaling them up. Exhaling down. One more inhale up. And exhale it down. Okay, from this position, if you can, we want to hold it in this position here to get a little bit of a stretch. Other than that, if you're going to come down into Malasana, which is the yoga squat, bring those feet in slightly. You can also use your block underneath of your bottom. You're going to come down, and arms are going to go on the inside. Hands are going to be at your chest in a prayer position, and we're going to breathe. Eight, one more time. One more breath. And we're going to release those hands to the floor, pushing back up into stand. Bring those feet forward and putting your hands on your thighs, coming back up to a full stand. We're going to rotate your left leg up to the front of your mat. Bring it through that right leg. Make sure you have your block handy. You will need it, or you may need it. You're going to inhale, lift those arms up. Exhaling it down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands to the floor, stepping back into plank. Bend those elbows back, lowering down to the ground. We're going to flatten those feet, pushing into cobra. It. Exhaling it down. Tuck those toes, pushing either into tabletop or pushing directly into downward facing dog. We're going to walk or step yourself up into a high lunge. If you need your block, 1 or 2 blocks,
You take your block and hold that position there. We're going to take and open that up, lifting that right arm up. Dropping that arm down. Lower that back knee. Putting that foot toe, flatten your toe down. And we're going to push up into a low lunge. Arms may be up towards the ceiling. Arms may be down on your knee or thigh. And you can also keep your arms on your block, like this and like this. Pushing back into that back foot. You're gonna lift that you're gonna lift that toe up towards your shin, folding down onto that. Push back into your low lunge. Tuck that back toe. Pushing up into your high lunge. We're going to inhale, bring that back leg forward. Stepping back with the opposite leg into your high lunge. You're going to rotate the other arm up and breathe. Lowering that arm down, dropping that back foot down to the ground, holding it here, find your position, keeping that front knee bent over the ankle, pushing all the way back, straightening out the front knee and folding into it. And bending that front knee again. Tucking that toe into your high lunge, stepping that leg forward. You're going to inhale, lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift all the way out. Exhale, hands to your heart. Stepping back with our right leg, we're going to step back into another high lunge, lifting those arms up. Taking a few breaths. Keeping that front leg tracking between the second and third toe. Knee over your ankle but behind your toes. Spiral that right leg down and staying forward. This is your warrior one. We're going to go ahead and open into our warrior two. Take a few breaths. Dropping that right arm down, rotate your left arm up towards the ceiling, leaning back towards your right side, keeping that front leg in that bent position. Your gaze can be at the center of your elbow. Inhaling it in, and exhale. Breathing through that stretch. more breath. And exhale. Returning to warrior two. We're going to go into an extended side angle. You're going to drop your left forearm down onto that thigh, pushing that right arm straight above, having a long line of energy pushing through that right side of your body. Maintaining that knee position on the front knee. One more breath. Returning to that warrior two. Dropping that front leg down. Wiggle in your back foot just a little bit. Shift that weight into your right hip. Gonna go into triangle. You can bring your block if need be. You can be on the front or in the back. You can use your block to help support you in this position. If you don't need your block, you can hold your shin, foot, floor. You're gonna rotate those hips to the front, extending that arm if you can. If you're not dealing with neck issues, your gaze can go forward or up. If you're having any issues with your neck, please keep your head facing down. And bring that hand to your waist. You're going to come back up. You're going to bend in that knee. Coming back up, we're going to rotate to the other side. Starting in your standing lift here. Rotating that foot down, opening into warrior one. Opening into your warrior two. Taking a few breaths. That back heel should be on the ground. Dropping that left arm down, rotating the right arm up, leaning back into your left side of your body. Inhaling it in, and exhale. Maintain that knee position. Turning back to warrior two. Dropping that forearm down to your thigh. Stretching that left arm up and over. Breathing into that stretch. And coming back to warrior two. Bring that back leg in. You're going to push that weight into that left hip. Coming down into your triangle. And breathing in. And exhaling. Inhale. One more time. And releasing that arm down to your waist. Put a bend in that front knee. Coming back up to stand. We're going to keep that right foot rotated, stepping through to the left with the left foot. We're going to inhale, lift, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands to the ground, stepping back into plank. Now go ahead and drop down to your knees, pushing back into child's pose, taking a few breaths. And we're going to push back up onto hands and knees. We're going to go into pigeon. You're going to draw your left knee so that it is up towards your left wrist. And you want your foot to be facing outward or to the front of the room. You're going to slide the back knee down, inching it down. You want that foot to be, your toes to be flat. And we're going to either stay here in this position. You can always take your block, placing it under your bottom for extra support there. You can stay in this position, tighten those abs up. You can come down onto your forearms and hold it, getting a nice stretch in that glute. And breathe. One more breath. And then we're going to push up. Remove your block if you're using one. And bring that back leg back in, easing it in. We're going to pull that left leg up. Push it back. Get a little bit of stretch out of it. Bringing it back in. We're going to do the same on the opposite side. Bring that right knee up towards your wrist. Pushing that foot so that it opens up to the other side of the room. Kind of wiggle that left leg back, toes should be flat. If you're using a block, placing that block under your hip and coming down onto your arms. Bring your head down, or you can just stay with your arm pushing up through your hands and breathe. And releasing it. Remove your block if you have your block. Push it up. Kind of walk that knee back up, releasing that tension on that right hip. Lift up, pulling that right leg from behind you, pushing back. Putting a little bit of stretch there and coming back up. We're going to keep your feet flat on the floor. Bring your toes together slightly. Going to push back onto your heels. From here, I'm going to move up just a little bit. I'm going to do a little bit of a quad stretch, which is these muscles here in the front of your body. You're going to walk your hands back. This may be where you are today. If you are able to go down further, you're going to come down onto your elbows. And we're going to get a little bit of a stretch here. Your gaze should be upward. And we're going to come back up, push yourself up. We're going to counter that stretch with a another child's pose. And pushing back up. We're going to come down into our seated position.
Now we're going to go into our seated stretches. In seated stretches, you want to make sure you try to keep your spine lengthened throughout the whole process and try to keep those abdominal muscles drawn in the best that you can. We're going to inhale, lift those arms up. Exhale, twisting it over to your right shoulder, gazing over that right arm. Left arm is going to be cradling that right leg. And releasing it. We're going to inhale, lift those arms up again. Exhaling it over the left shoulder. Gaze is over that left shoulder. Now make sure you're not leaning into this. You still want to be pushing your body up, keeping your back straight if you can. This is just getting a twist in the upper part of your back and your neck. And of course, if you have issues with your spine, don't twist. We're going to rotate that head back forward. We're going to inhale, lift those arms up. Exhale those arms down. We're going to cross your right arm over the left. Bringing those hands back towards one another, resting the left fingers inside of the right palm. We're going to bend over and hold. And release it. We're going to switch the legs. Yoga, you want to have symmetry, so if you notice throughout the whole sequence, whatever we do on one side, we do it on the other side. So you have to reverse those legs. The idea behind yoga is to get the body in balance. So you're going to inhale, lift it up. Exhale, over to your right side. You're going to release it. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, over to the left side. And release it. I'm going to inhale, lift those arms up. Exhale this time, drawing the right arm underneath of the left arm. Bring those arms together. Right arm fingers are going to be in the left arm hand palm. Leaning forward. And release. I'm going to straighten those legs out forward. I'm going to inhale those arms up. Exhale, forward fold. And breathe. With every exhale, allow your body to slowly sink further into your stretch. And coming back up, open those legs out to the sides. I'm going to walk those hands down to the center. And breathe and hold.
Walking those hands back up. You're gonna walk over to your right. Grab onto that foot, or your ankle. Bring that head towards your knee. Again, allow your body to gradually lower down into that position. Lifting it up, over to the other side. And coming back up. Gonna bring your left leg in towards your ruin. We're gonna go back over to the right leg again, coming into that stretch. This is a much deeper stretch than the other one. And coming back up again. Bring the left leg out. Bring that right leg into your ruin. Walking it out to your side once more. And bringing it back up. And then walk those legs over onto lying on our backs. We're going to cross your left leg over your right leg, drawing those legs up towards your chest. You can bring your left arm through that opening, or right arm through the opening, whichever leg you have up. Slowly pulling those legs into your chest. And breathe. And switch legs. I'm going to do the opposite side. Maintain your breath. And release it. If you have a strap nearby or a towel, you can bring your strap into the middle of your foot, pulling that leg back. You can straighten the opposite leg down, whichever feels comfortable for you. Keeping that heel pushing towards the ceiling. If you do not have a strap, you're just going to grab behind that shin and hold it. Make sure your knee that's on your foot that's on the ground, make sure your leg's not just flailing out. Make sure it's facing upward. And release that leg. And release it. Gonna drop those arms down to your sides. And we're gonna bring those legs to your right. Gaze is gonna be over your left, and just hold. And bringing it back to center. Releasing it down to your left. Gaze is gonna be over to the right side. Hold it. And going back to the center, dropping those legs to the right, gaze is on your left. And one more time, back to center, dropping it to your right. And back to center. Bring those legs down. Flat. Bring your arms facing upward, down to your sides. We're just going to rest here. You may return to your normal breathing pattern. Notice the energy that you have moving through your body at this moment. Take notice to any areas in your body that may have less stress, may have less pain, or any areas that just feel like you've actually stretched them out a little bit. Just take a few moments just to reflect on your practice today. My gratitude and be thankful for showing up and doing your work. Go ahead and open your eyes if you have not done so already. Bring movement back into your toes and to your feet. I invite you to join me into
You may want to stay seated just for a few more moments while you are readjust to coming back up so that you make sure you don't get dizzy when you go to stand. Thank you all so much for joining my class. I hope that you have gained a little bit of flexibility today. And as always, do me a favor, subscribe to my channel if you have not done so. Share this video, give me a like, and leave me a comment on how this video has helped you out. All right, thank you so much, and you all have a wonderful day.